Now, with your Storm Tracker 8 forecast first.
Hey, good Sunday evening, everybody. It was a very warm and slightly muggy day today. Let's check out those temperatures right now. Upper 50s, 58 degrees here in Richmond, feeling like 58 degrees. That's pretty warm for this time of year. We have a pretty mild night ahead of us going into your Monday morning. Lower 50s around 10 by tomorrow morning. We're going to see an increase in cloud cover. Temperatures falling into the upper 30s to start off the day. Now, tomorrow's going to be a little cooler. I'll break that down for you coming up in just a bit. But your news starts right now.
Now on 8 News at 6. 2 people are dead after a Christmas Day crash. We're live at the scene with the latest. And a civil rights icon dies at the age of 90. The legacy that he leaves behind after bringing a new era to South Africa. Omicron continues to surge across the country. How the CDC is updating its guidance about who needs to isolate and for how long.
8 News at 6 starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for 8 News at 6. I'm Sabrina Shutters. Our top story tonight, 2 people are dead after a car landed on top of another in a Christmas Day crash. 8 News reporter Nicole Dantzler is live in Hopewell with what we know about the investigation. Nicole.
Yes, Sabrina, Hopewell police say this deadly crash happened just after midnight on Christmas Day. Officers responded to Oak Lawn Boulevard and Colonial Corner Drive where a car T-boned another car and then landed on top of it. Fire and medical crews used emergency equipment to remove the driver and passenger from the bottom car. But despite efforts to save them, both victims died at the scene. The driver and passengers of the top car were checked out at the scene and then released. Police say no charges have been filed in this investigation, but they do say if you have any information about this crash, to give the Hopewell Police Department a call. Live in Hopewell tonight, Nicole Dantzler, 8 News.
Thanks, Nicole. Well, also in Hopewell this weekend, 1 person is dead after a shooting yesterday morning. It happened on Davis Lane around 6 o'clock. A witness told police an argument between the victim and someone else led to the shooting. When police arrived, the victim was pronounced dead at the scene. The shooting is being investigated as a homicide. If you have any information, call Hopewell Police. And 2 people are hurt after a double shooting in Richmond on Christmas night. Richmond police responded to a call near the intersection of Hickory Street and West Bacon Street late Saturday night. They found a man and a woman who had both been shot. The victims were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. There is no information about suspects at this time. 4 people and 3 dogs are without a home after a Christmas Day fire in Henrico. Crews were called to a house on Ingalls Road just before 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. When they arrived, they found heavy smoke and flames coming from the house. The 4 residents of the house had already escaped. Crews put out the fire before searching the house and rescuing the 3 dogs. Chesterfield police are searching for this man who they say robbed the Dollar General on Iron Bridge Place today. Police say the man entered the store and robbed an employee at gunpoint before running away. The robbery happened around 9:40 this morning. Anyone with information should contact Chesterfield police or Crime Solvers. A man is fighting for his life in the hospital after being hit by a car as he was getting out of his car following a crash. Police say that man was driving east on Midlothian Turnpike last night around 8:30 when he hit 2 other cars. He got out of his car and that's when a car hit him. If you have any information, call police or Crime Solvers. Well, the first black Archbishop of Cape Town, South Africa, Desmond Tutu, died today according to South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. He was 90 years old. ABC's Lindsay Davis has more on the man Ramaphosa calls a patriot without equal.
He will be remembered as a man of peace, even though Bishop Desmond Tutu spent most of his life fighting inequality, poverty, and injustice. As a child, he lived under white South Africa's brutally enforced segregation. It was his tireless anti-apartheid activism that first propelled him into the international spotlight.
God, we know that you will lead us out of oppression and injustice.
As an Anglican bishop, he appealed to the world's conscience from a global pulpit, calling for an end to the violent apartheid regime.
This march is going to be peaceful, isn't it?
His protests were both hard-hitting and non-violent. He was the first to campaign for economic sanctions. Tutu encouraged disinvestment. In 1985, when the U.S. and U.K. stopped all investments in South Africa, it crippled the South African economy, forcing the government's hand to reform. When the international community awarded him the Nobel Peace Prize in 1984, he accepted on behalf of a movement.
On behalf of those committed to the cause of justice, of peace and reconciliation everywhere.
That signaled the beginning of the end for apartheid. Free elections were held in 1994, and at 63 years old, Tutu cast his first vote. He then set the bar even higher and served as the chairman of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, a group created to probe human rights violations during apartheid. In 2009, we saw Tutu's signature smile as he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Desmond Tutu possesses that sense of generosity, that spirit of unity, that essence of humanity that South Africans know simply as Ubuntu.
The world came to know him as a voice for the oppressed. That voice will live on. Lindsay Davis, ABC News.
Holiday sales were expected to rise this year, but when there are more gifts, there are more returns. About 30% of presents bought online are returned every year. If you didn't get exactly what you wanted this holiday season, stores are being more generous with their return policies.
In a lot of cases, you can return gifts that were purchased online in-store to a retailer's in-store location if you're more comfortable with that, so that it can be a lot easier for people rather than, having to figure out how to ship a gift back.
If you plan on returning a gift, don't open the box it came in. Make sure to keep the gift receipt if you got one, and always check each other's stores' return policies. Now, coming up after the break, take a look back with us at Governor Ralph Northam's time in office here in Virginia. And UVA's football season came to an abrupt end today. Why the Cavaliers were forced to cancel their appearance in the Fenway Bowl. Emily?
And we have some rain in the forecast for tomorrow. That's right, a little bit of rain is possible. Some spotty showers. I'll break down exactly what you can expect to see coming up.
You're watching A News at 6, covering news where you live. Powhatan, Pole Green, and Prince George. Stay with us. A News is back in a moment. Welcome back to 8 News at 6. I'm Sabrina Shutters. With less than 3 weeks left in his time as governor, Ralph Northam is looking back on the legacy he will leave behind. While he says his biggest accomplishment was expanding health care access for Virginians, he has also made headlines for controversial reasons. Capitol reporter Jackie DeFusco sat down with Governor Ralph Northam for a detailed recap.
Governor Ralph Northam reflecting on a 4-year term, nearly cut short by calls for resignation after being accused of appearing in a racist yearbook photo.
Do you regret the way that you responded to that controversy? And what do you say to people who still don't believe your reversal that you were not, in fact, in that photo?
That was a very difficult time for Virginia, and I regret that. As a result of what happened in February of 2019, I've learned a lot. I'm a better person. And I think we've been able to put a lot of focus on things that we might not have done.
Under Governor Northam's leadership, Virginia became the first state in the South to end the death penalty and legalize recreational marijuana possession. Confederate statues fell.
Send that traitor to his grave!
Then, after racial justice demonstrations consumed Richmond in 2020,
I can't breathe!
Northam backed a batch of police reforms, but rather than defunding the police, he's proposing big raises for law enforcement in his outgoing budget.
Can you truly answer calls for racial justice while also supporting law enforcement, or in an effort to do both, did you fully accomplish neither?
I think we can continue to support law enforcement. It's very important that our streets, our communities are safe. But with that comes accountability.
Meantime, the nation's only governor and doctor was grappling with a health crisis and economic collapse. As Virginia's finances now rebound to record highs, the new Omicron variant is prompting some to reinstate COVID restrictions.
Is the indoor mask mandate a step too far?
That's a very difficult law to enforce, and so it's strongly encouraged, and that's the approach that we'll continue to take.
Before face coverings became a common sight, a tragic mass shooting in Virginia Beach triggering a push for gun violence prevention. Despite an outpouring of opposition, Northam signing nearly all of those bills into law.
We didn't have the votes we needed in the Senate to pass a law banning assault weapons. Hopefully in the future we will, and we can get those off of our streets.
It won't happen anytime soon. With Republican Governor-elect Glenn Youngkin taking over, Northam is rolling out the welcome mat.
Do you think that those big Democratic losses are evidence that perhaps your administration went too far to the left in a state that's still purple? Did you misread your mandate?
I don't think we talked about what we've done as Democrats in Virginia enough during the past election. It became nationalized.
What do you hope that the country learns from the transition of power happening in Virginia right now?
I hope Americans will contrast the way that we've dealt with our transition compared to what happened in Washington.
That was Jackie DeFusco reporting. Still to come on 8 News at 6. Have you ever seen a bunch of Santas running together? We'll tell you about this quite interesting European tradition next. Emily.
And we have some warm weather ahead of us this week. I will let you know exactly what to expect as we head into the new year coming up.
COVID cases are on the rise across the country, fueled by the highly contagious Omicron variant. With hospital staff stretched thin in many places, the CDC is changing its guidelines for how long vaccinated healthcare workers should isolate before returning to work. Here's ABC's Phil Lipoff with the details.
The highly contagious Omicron variant continues to surge across the country. Hospitalizations and deaths are also on the rise, with the heaviest toll on the unvaccinated.
Is that we are seeing unvaccinated Americans getting infected at very high rates. And that's the group I'm worried about, because that's the group that's going to end up in the hospital.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says studies show the variant is less severe, but stressed we don't want to get complacent.
If you have many more people with a less level of severity, that might kind of neutralize the positive effect of having less severity when you have so many more people.
New York doubling its daily positive case numbers in just a week. Ohio recording 443 deaths in just 24 hours. Florida reporting more than 125,000 cases last week. That's up from 29,000 the week before. Across the country, long lines for testing.
Within the last 7 days, our testing has quadrupled from the week before.
Pediatric hospitalizations are surging too in New York and other parts of the country. Ohio, Texas, Pennsylvania hit particularly hard. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, 170,000 children testing positive for COVID-19 just last week, an increase of nearly 28% in just 2 weeks.
It's so important for those that are eligible and around, especially our children under 5 who are yet to get the vaccine, to be vaccinated, to really cocoon them, protect them, especially as we're entering this surge.
Frontline workers stretched thin, leading the CDC to issue an alert outlining contingency plans for rising cases. Now recommending vaccinated and boosted healthcare workers who test positive can return to work after 7 days if they're not experiencing symptoms. If staffing shortages and hospitalizations reach crisis levels, the CDC recommends those same workers should return to work after 5 days. But the general public is still being advised to isolate for 10 days after a COVID diagnosis. Phil Lipoff, ABC News, New York.
The most accurate forecast in Central Virginia. Now, your Storm Tracker 8 weather.
Wait, Emily, I don't think we could have had a better looking day for Christmas yesterday. I mean, it was perfect outside. Are we going to see more of that?
We are. So today was pretty nice. We actually got into the 60s again today, so a very warm day. And Sabrina, do you believe me when I say that it's the last week of December and we're in the 60s? I don't. Me either, but I know it's true. If we take a look outside right now, we are in the upper 50s. Again, it's the end of December, everybody. 58 degrees right now, feeling like 58 degrees. We have mostly clear skies out there, so a nice night ahead of us, but it's going to be pretty warm as we head into your Monday. We are going to cool down just a bit, but really not too much, and after that, that's going to be our coolest day of the week. So we'll break that down here in a second, but first let's get a check at your temperatures. We're in the 50s all across the board. Louisa, 49 degrees right now, 58 in Richmond, 55 in Ashland, 53 up in Fredericksburg this evening, 50 down in Petersburg, so that's still pretty warm for this time of year. Typically, we actually see our highs at 50 degrees, so we're cooling down right now, and we're already still above our highs for this time of year. Let's take a look at your futurecast for the rest of the night. We'll see that increase in cloud cover. Our temperatures briefly dipping down into the upper 30s, lower 40s by tomorrow morning. We'll see a couple of clouds or a couple of showers starting to move through to our north, but we'll start off the day fairly dry here in Central Virginia. But we do have the possibility of a couple of light showers by tomorrow afternoon, late tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. So those temperatures warming up into the mid-40s right around lunchtime. There are those showers that I was talking about, very light sprinkles, most of us staying dry tomorrow. But if you do have any outdoor plans, you may need to bring an umbrella just in case. You never want to get stuck in a light sprinkle. And as we head into later in the afternoon, our highs topping out in the lower 50s, right around average for this time of year. Mostly cloudy skies all day, and that is our coolest day of the work week. So take a look at those temperatures as we head into your Tuesday morning, because we're not going to fall down too much overnight into the lower 50s, upper 40s, lower 50s for our lows to start off the day on Tuesday. Mostly cloudy skies, so already starting off warm. We're going to warm back up into the lower 60s on Tuesday. So your temperature trend does show that warming trend over the next several days. This gold bar right here, that's our average high for this time of year. 49 degrees is our average high. We're going to be at 72 degrees on Wednesday, so well above average. We do have some rain in the forecast, though, because we are not seeing quite a lot of rain here in Central Virginia. So the rest of this work week, we do have the possibility of seeing those light showers Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday night going into Thursday morning, we have a better shot at seeing some of those light showers moving through. We should dry out just in time for New Year's Eve, and then we'll see the return of rain just in time for the start of the new year. So your 8-day forecast looking fantastic, if not a little warm, and we should fall down into the mid-40s to start off the first full week of 2022. Sabrina?
Thanks, Emily. Well, runners in the European country North Macedonia got into the holiday spirit earlier today with the annual Santa Claus race. Take a look at this. Hundreds of people participated in the run, putting on their festive Santa costumes. They ran just under 1 mile through the capital city of Skopje. Runners of all ages dressed up for the race. This is the first time the race has been held in 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. North Macedonia currently has less than 5,000 active COVID-19 cases. Whoa, that looks like a fun time to me, Emily. I mean, my future father-in-law dressed up as Buddy the Elf the other day. I mean,
that is so funny.
For a charity event at work, yeah.
Cool. We've got to throw him
out there. I just love it. I love the holiday costume.
Me too, me too. I know. I like the elf hats. I'm always here for those.
But who's the real Santa? That's the question.
I know. Well, he's out there.
He is.
The Santa run, though. That's
all right. We'll be right back. UVA's football season has come to a quick end as COVID-19 prevented the team from traveling to its bowl game. The Cavaliers were scheduled to fly to Boston this weekend to play in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. The school put out a statement this morning saying that because of the number of COVID cases within the team, they are unable to play the game. Refunds will be available to people who bought tickets to the game. Well, the holidays are a time to give, but some people are more interested in taking. Leaving boxes outside after Christmas can give burglars an idea of what's inside your home. If they see a box or a big-ticket item next to your trash, they could be more likely to target your house. To prevent a burglary at your home, experts say you should wait a few days before putting your trash out.
Keep those boxes inside your house somewhere. Wait till trash day. Once trash day comes in, then cut them up in half, renting, and stuff them as best as you can in your trash can so the trash man can take them.
Police say every year burglaries increase in the days between Christmas and New Year's. We'll be right back.
All right, let's take one last look here at your 8-day forecast. It is the last full week of 2021, and we are ending it on a very warm note. We're going to be in the 60s by Tuesday, lower 70s on Wednesday, a brief cool down on Monday. We are going to be a little cooler throughout the day tomorrow with a couple of showers possible, but that's going to be our coolest day out of the week. Again, lower 60s on Tuesday, a couple of showers. Wednesday, we'll see a better chance of that rain Wednesday night going into your Thursday morning, but overall, again, very warm on Wednesday. It's 72 degrees for that high, and then we're falling down into the lower 60s just in time for the New Year. So New Year's Eve, we should dry out. We'll be in the 60s there, so if you have any New Year's Eve plans right around midnight, we should be at about 40 degrees. So it's looking pretty good there. By Saturday, we'll start to see an increase in rain chances, so your next year, 2022, I can't believe we're almost in 2022, is starting off on a warm note.
No way. It's going to be 72 on Wednesday?
Yes, I know.
Bring it on.
I'm excited.
Me too. Thank you. We'll see you at 11.